This video will be about representing and comparing decimals. So you've got a worksheet that you can follow along with, and we're going to look at this first one right here. So what is the place value of each of the 3 in these numbers? So first, identify where the 3 is. So what they're asking is, does the 3 mean ones, tens, hundreds? Remember, this number after the decimal is called the tenths position. The one afterwards is called the hundredths position. And you can guess what the next one is called, the thousandths position. Thousandths position. So if you're looking at the 3 in this case, the 3 in this case is a whole number. So it's not ones, it's not tens, it's 300s. So when you write here, you write hundreds. Hundreds with a D because it's a whole number. Now looking here, the 3 in this case is part of the decimal. It's in the first column, which we know is called the tenths. Looking at this number, find a 4-digit decimal that is less than 2. Okay, so it needs to be less than 2 and fits in this description. So there are many different numbers in this case. These 2 questions are very specific. So, of course, your answer would be less than 2. But if you're looking between 0.3 and 0.4, there's lots of different numbers. So you could do 0.31, 0.32, 0.33. You could also put any other number of decimals, of digits on here, and they were still between 3 and 4. If you had a number that started with 0.4, the only number that you could put would be 0.40, because it needs to be between 0.3 and 0.4. But this is actually the number 0.40, so this one wouldn't work. So any number that starts with 0.3 would fit in between 0.3 and 0.4. Now, let's look at a number that is less than 0.9. So it can't start with 0.9. So it has to start with the digit that's lower than that, 0.8. Any number that starts with 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, you get it. You get the pattern. And you can put any numbers after here. It's up to you. All of these are less than 0.9. So you have different numbers that could fit in here. Okay? Let's look at this. Complete the number series. This is like patterning when you were in younger grades. So you need to look at here and see, okay, what's the pattern? Are they counting by ones? Are they counting by 2s, 3s, 4s? These are the common ones. 5s, 10s, maybe 50s. Look at the pattern. So in this case, they've got 93.210, 93.220, 93.230, and 0.40. So you can tell here that there's an increment of 10. So right in between these 2, what would be here? So you've got 93.2. So it's not going to be 0.21. What would be right in the middle of 0.21 and 93.22? What would fall right in here? Think about that. So it would be 93.215. It makes sense if you think about it. Oh, this one had a 0. So you can kind of think of it in whole numbers. What's between 910 and 920? It would be, what's between 210 and 220? That would be 215. So sometimes what you can do is you can kind of take off the whole number and just compare them like that. So if this would be 93.215, this one would be 5 more too. So 93.225, 93.235. 5. You can see now it used to go up by tens, but now it skip counts by 5. We need to order these numbers. The first thing is the easiest way is to line. So when you line them up like this over top of one another, you could just put zeros so that all of them have the same digit, the same amount of decimal places. Now what you do is you start by comparing the number that's right beside the decimal place, right to the right of it. All of these numbers have 4s except for our 0.045. So this number would be our smallest number. The next number, what we're looking for here. So now once we're done that, we go to the next decimal place. We've got a 5, a 4, a 6, and a 6. Because this number, this digit is a 4, it is the lowest number, 0.045. Let's go to the next one. These two both start with 6, so we're not sure just yet, but this one, the next value is a 5, so we've got 0.450. Now with these two, we compare, the 4 is the same in both of them, the 6 is the same in both of them, but this value, this number right here has a 1 above it, so it's the largest of all of them. So 0.46 goes here, and the largest number in this set is 0.461. Remember, the easiest way to do it is if you have numbers that have that do not have the same amount of digits after the decimal place, just put zeros in that place so that it's easier to compare. Now let's look at this last one. So the difference between 0.4 and 0.04. If you have 40 cents and you have 4 cents, those are two different things. So when you're writing your number, be careful to make sure that you're distinguishing between these two ideas. They're really important. So if you were to write out 4 cents, that looks like 0.04, whereas 40 cents looks like 0.4 or 0.40. We can add a little 0 onto there.